It's 9 o'clock on a Saturday. You know what that means. It's time for Huddling with the Herd here on KYNT and also streaming live on KYN TV. Huddling with the Herd is your weekly roundup of Yankton High School athletics. We're talking to Bucks football coaches today. We're getting you prepped for Yankton Gazelles soccer in the second round of their playoffs. And also we have state updates from the state tournament for Bucks golf and Gazelles tennis. Plenty to talk about today on Huddling with the Herd. Should be a great day here for Yankton athletics. Tennis, we're going to bury the lead with tennis a little bit. Nora and Sabrina Kraske, state champions in Flight 1 doubles. So congratulations to them. We'll talk more about that a little later on. The Bucks, a football program, are the topic of discussion. First, big win last night over Brookings, 14-7 for them. We got coaches from varsity, junior varsity, and ninth grade level for the Bucks in today. We'll talk to all of them as we get things rolling here on Huddling with the Herd. You're listening to KYNT and watching on KYN TV. When we come back, we'll have head coach Brady Muth and defensive coordinator Justin Olson in the booth talking to us about last night's win over Brookings. Back in a couple minutes with more. This is Huddling with the Herd, KYNT, KYN TV.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first. We offer expertise and experience, where your long-term eye care is our concern. State-of-the-art technology, where we never lose sight of quality. Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Mount Marty is committed to excellence in nursing.
We really go the extra mile to care for our students as a whole person. My name is Crystal Diedrichsen. I am an associate professor of nursing at Mount Marty. As a Catholic Benedictine university, we can incorporate God and prayer in our regular classwork and interactions with students. And in addition to that, we care about the students in other aspects of their lives.
Start your journey at mountmarty.edu.
FNBO is the great big small bank. And for more than 165 years, we've been with you where you are. A bank that's ready for all your needs, both big and small. Here to help you earn more, save more, so you can do more every step of the way. It's what you can expect from the great big small bank. FNBO, independent and family owned for 6 generations, and ever so focused on you. Stop on by or visit us at fnbo.com, member FDIC.
We're passionate about getting yearly mammograms because 1 in 8 women will be diagnosed with breast cancer. You can get a yearly mammogram to detect it early. Would it help if I requested nicely? Please, could you be so kind as to get a mammo? Or singing it. Get your mammogram starting at 40. Or with a British accent. Schedule your mammo with an Avera Breast Center at avera.org/breast. Or call 888-422-1410.
Big things are happening at Parker of Yankton. With 2 new production lines coming soon, we're growing and hiring. We're looking for a product and a mechanical engineer, material handlers, line operation techs, and assemblers for both first and second shift. We offer paid vacation, medical, dental, vision, and life insurance, quarterly profit sharing, 401k match, and a fully paid retirement income account. If you want to work with a team that's building the future right here in Yankton, now's the time. Competitive pay, benefits, and room to grow. Apply today at parker.com/careers.
Parker, engineering your success.
Olson Pest Technicians is a family-owned business since 1966, and with over 50 years of pest management, they understand your issues, and their well-trained team will help you solve your pest problems. Issues with cockroaches, ants, bedbugs, bats, termites, spiders, rats, mice, or other creepy crawling pests? Olson Pest Technicians can treat and cure them. Right now, they can provide grain fumigation on the farm and do one-shots for homes to keep pests out for the winter. Call Olson Pest today, 800-KIL-BUGS.
Welcome back in here on KYNT and KYN TV for Huddling with the Herd. We're talking Yankton Bucks football right now. Big win for the varsity last night, 14-7 over the Brookings Bobcats. We got head coach Brady Muth, defensive coordinator Justin Olson in here now. Coaches, it was, for lack of a better term, fairly ugly game last night. Old school football, but able to come out on top. Really only one sustained drive from Brookings that you guys had to deal with all night long.
Yeah, I thought and I'll let Coach Olson talk to this, but I thought our defense and our special teams played really, really good. Offense did just enough It was a tough night for the offense. We kind of talked about that in pregame, where you're just going to have to be patient enough and mentally tough enough to take what they give you. And Brookings' defensive game plan was executed, almost flawlessly as far as how they performed last night. And so, winning ugly is one of those things that sometimes you can get caught up in breaking down the film too much a little bit and overanalyzing. But in the late part of the season, you're going to have to find ways to win football games, and that's what we did last night. And, we've talked about it. Double A is wide open. You look at the scores, Brookings played a lot of people tough. We knew it was going to be a tough game. Thought our guys just did a really good job of performing, doing what they needed to do, and being tough enough to win a football game last night.
And we talked about it with Coach Huber in the post-game interview last night. Not the gaudy numbers that Tate Bestie has been putting up this year, but a very efficient day, 14 for 21, which puts him, I believe, 66% completion percentage, 98 yards and a touchdown. And I think it needed the efficiency to bounce back after last week.
Yeah, and again, it was one of those things, too, where, Brookings, like I said, Brookings did a really good job of sticking to their game plan and then executing it. They were going to drop guys off in coverage and make sure everything was blanketed, but then in the run game where we needed to probably have a little bit more success, their outside backers, who are kind of the crux of what they're trying to do defensively, did a really good job of getting straight down the line in our backfield and making things tough for us to run the ball. And so we've got some things to work on offense, but I still... The message today is, we didn't put up numbers that we wanted, but the only number we're really worried about is the one in the win column. And so to have a game like that where it was a full team effort, every facet of the team had an impact on that game, it was a win we needed to have.
It's one of those things where when it comes to winning, they don't always ask how, but they do ask how many.
Yep, you're exactly right. You're exactly right.
Switching to the defensive side of the ball here, I thought the defense was spectacular, especially in the passing game. Only 16 yards passing allowed in total, 126 yards of total offense. And it felt like, I believe, 80 of those yards came on one drive for Brookings, their only sustained drive of the day.
Yeah, I was super proud of the defense, coming back from, the previous game against Sturgis. Didn't have the best night, and so they had kind of chip on their shoulder, and we knew what Brookings wanted to do. They wanted to run the football, and our goal is to get the ball in the air and let our ball hawks take care of it. Back there in the secondary, we figured we could get some pressure with the front seven, and it was, that's exactly what happened, and it was kind of fun to watch everything come together. Now the goal is to kind of sustain this and kind of build off this. We had a pretty good practice week. We had some meetings with the guys and saying, hey, this is what needs to happen, and they responded. So fun to see them come out last night and limit the run, except for that one drive, which was kind of tough. But we bent, but we didn't break, and like you said, we got it done ugly. And there is another win in the win column, so we're very satisfied.
I know the special teams end of it I'll talk more about with Coach Hale later on, but how does it help you as a defensive coordinator when your special teams is able to pin them back? It felt like all night long they were operating inside their own 20.
That is so nice. That's like a warm weighted blanket, for the defense, just to let you kind of just this is great, and have that extra defender as the end zone, with you. So having a 12th defender out there, it was great. And Liam and Coach Hale, that unit, especially with the punt unit, and then Liam also on the kickoff and the kick cover team. Wow, to give them a long field, it's great for the defense. It lets us kind of play fast forward and try to make some things happen. And that's what happened out there. And I think the guys probably felt a little bit of pressure kind of off them, not knowing they had to defend a short field. And special teams, like Coach said, was lights out, and that definitely helps the defense as well.
It felt like field position all day long was the name of the game. Brookings' best starting field position was maybe their own 35, right around there. Yeah. I felt like you guys were starting possessions in Brookings' territory quite often.
And that's the transition then, and that's complementary football. Yeah. Defense played really well, set up by a special teams play, and then offense gets good field position and gave us chances to get the ball and work the ball down in the end zone where we didn't have to, when you're playing a team like that, if you have to get an 80-yard drive against a team like that where it's, 3 yards a pop, it's tough to do. You you have to be right on a lot of plays. And so, like I said, all of that just helps us out. I mean, special teams defense last night was the stars of the show. And like I said, offensively, we did enough to get a win. And Kevin Ortiz, too, scoring for us. I mean, to be able to kick field goals and getting close to the postseason, in the postseason when points are always at a premium, are really, really important. And then on top of that, to get a 2-point conversion, because that's the other part of the equation. You can kick those field goals, but you have to get, when the card says you go for 2, you got to get that 2 points. And so I thought, everything worked well last night, and it was a fun night and one we needed.
Similar mindset on offense for your opponent next week. I know Brookings, they had the success they had last night was power running and that like sustained drive, and it feels like nobody likes to run the ball more than T. You got the Titans coming to town next week. What are you expecting in that?
So teams built the same way. It's a physical team. They're going to run the football and they're going to pack the box and they're going to try to stop the run, and they have a mindset defensively. What they do differently defensively is where Brookings plays safe and keeps everything in front of you. T is going to try to take care of that with pressure, and they're going to get in our face and press. And so we have to be able to make sure that we can complete some of those longer passes and beat man-on-man coverage. And so the potential there, a little bit of opposite of last night, is there's going to be a lot of potential for big plays. We have to be able to take those big plays when we get them, but we have to be tough enough to run the football against those guys too. And it'll be a lot the same. Game planning for T defensively will be real similar to Brookings.
Right. Yeah.
I was going to ask you, Coach Olson, without getting too much in the X and O's, because I know coaches like to play their hand pretty close to the vest. Is it kind of, what did you take away from last night that you can now implement against T, seeing a run-heavy offense back-to-back weeks?
Well, what needed to happen is linebacker play. And I'll throw it out there because they know we had some extensive meetings with our linebackers, and we just needed to be better. We knew how special our secondary was. I know how special our linebackers are. We have a group of them that can be very, very good. They're just need more experience and trust themselves and trust their teammates. And we saw that last night. And so we need that going forward to make a playoff run, a championship run later on down the road. But right in front of us is another chance for them to prove themselves, and that's the T Titans with their run game. And I feel that, they took a big step forward. Mm-hmm. And it's going to be fun to have some guys that we can rotate in. And, if we need to correct them or just have a little talk with them, plug and play, get one out, talk about it, get the next one in, and so on and so forth, and make sure we're playing fast and physical. And that's going to be one of the keys here is to keep people fresh. And it's going to be it'll be a fun night come Friday. But, the run focus, we want them to throw the ball. So we got to stop that run for sure.
All right, thank you both for coming in this morning, coaches. Good luck next week against T area, and we'll talk to you again next Saturday.
Sounds good.
Thanks, Bray.
That was head coach Brady Muth, defense coordinator Justin Olson here on Huddling with the Herd. We're back in a couple minutes. Keep things rolling.
Lucky for us, life is full of choices, big and small. They define us, make us who we are. And when it comes time for you to choose, a car, home, your next big adventure, or start a new business, Farmers Union Insurance has the variety of coverage options to protect each perfect moment. Farmers Union Insurance.
For coverage you can count on, call Brendan Hansen or Brandon Tykrow in Yankton today.
If you've been suffering from chronic pain or a recent injury, check us out, Lane, Reed, and Cole Sawatsky at SWAT Chiropractic and Rehab.
We offer a wide variety of treatments and techniques, including dry needling, cupping, chiropractic adjustments, and sports rehabilitation.
Our mission is to ensure an individualized and efficient treatment plan to get you back on your feet.
From ankle sprains and sports injuries to neck pain and headaches, we've got your back.
Give us a call or book an appointment on our website. SWAT Chiropractic, specialized wellness and therapy.
Now located on Summit Street across from the high school.
When you make the right decision, it feels good. Like picking the perfect accent rug or choosing a good night's sleep over an all-night crime show binge. It feels really good to make the right insurance decision too. That's why State Farm agent Rhonda Westland is right here in Yankton to help you select the right protection at the right price. Rhonda will make sure you understand your State Farm coverages so you'll know what to expect if the unexpected happens. With State Farm agent Rhonda Westland, it's easy to make the right choice. Just call her. When you want the real deal, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Looking for the perfect pair of glasses? At Vision Care Associates, we've got you covered. Step into our showroom and discover our vast selection from timeless classics to the latest trends. With several styles to choose from, you're sure to find the perfect match for your look. Experience personalized service and expert care, whether you need help finding the right frame or adjusting your new glasses for the perfect fit.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Credit union people are my people. Dreaming big, keeping life simple. Saving smart, living free. At Explorers Credit Union, you're just like me. We chart new trails, we stand tall. Together we rise, together we call. Credit union people are my people, it's true. And I found my crew at Explorers CU. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit ExplorerCU.com to join the journey today.
Are you huddling up with the relatives for the holidays or a Yankton or Mount Marty football game, but don't have enough space in your locker room? Book rooms at the Fairfield by Marriott are Holiday Inn Express. There won't be any roughing penalties with their clean, comfortable beds, and no interference on a relaxing stay. Remember, instead of everyone at your house, call on Audible and book rooms at the Fairfield by Marriott or Holiday Inn Express. For great rates and flexible reservation changes, call either hotel direct.
Welcome back in here on Huddling with the Herd on KYNT, KYN-TV. We got offensive coordinator Terry Huber in the booth now, along with special teams coordinator Brady Hale. And I know usually, and it's because of how prolific this offense has been at times, we start with you, Coach Huber, but we're actually going to start with Coach Hale this week because I feel like the special teams were, I can't call them the unsung hero because we've been singing their praises for about 12, 13 hours now. But between punting and kicking with Kevin and Liam, everything really was set up. You pinned them back deep quite often with Liam on the punts, and then Kevin with 2 big field goals as well, setting a new season long for him with a 39-yarder.
Yeah, I thought it was a great night. Like you said with Liam, when we're exchanging field position on punts and we keep, gaining whatever it is, 10, 15, 20 yards on them every time we punt the football, eventually, you're going to end up with some pretty good field position. So we felt like throughout the course of the game that Liam was probably the most valuable player at times on offense, just controlling the game and putting them in spots where they, whether they had to be non-aggressive because they're on the goal line or whatever the case is. But we really felt like Liam had a nice game. He kicked off really well, and obviously punted the ball at a very high level. And then the points with Kevin, I mean, he had a missed field goal last week, but that's the kind of kid that he is he's going to come back and, we'll trot him right out there and he's going to knock it in. And then he's hopefully getting some momentum going forward here into the next couple weeks. Because 2 field goals in a high school game is it's not a common thing. And he, stepped up and did it and made it look really easy. And good snap, good hold. And both of those kicks were huge. Just the way the game was going, it was kind of a stalemate for a while there. So getting points on the board is just a big deal for our team.
And needed a little bit of help on the first one from the crossbar, but the second one cleared it pretty well. And it's funny, the second one was the longer one, too. So showing that he has quite a good leg. I know fans of Yankton Bucks soccer have seen him use that leg on free kicks before. So seeing it translate, a different style of kicking, obviously, with football than it is with a soccer ball.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard that for years and years. Even when he was a youngster freshman, sophomore in high school, I was hearing about how Kevin had, just a monster leg on the soccer field. And now to see that kind of translate. And unfortunately, I think their soccer season finished up here the last week. So selfishly, we'll get Kevin at practice a lot more. And I'm sure he'll have another level he can reach here now that he's, solely focusing on kicking him going forward here into the stretch run and into the playoffs.
And we'll talk more about Bucks soccer later on here on Huddling with the Herd, but their season did come to an end on Tuesday against O'Gorman in the first round of the playoffs. Let's switch things up and talk offense now with Coach Huber. I know it's not the numbers that you have become accustomed to this year with how this offense is operated, but I thought Tate Bestie, despite being under 100 yards passing for, I think, the first time, maybe second time this season. I know the Harrisburg game was a little rough, but 14 for 21 through the air and a touchdown, completing over 60% of his passes there, which was really good considering some struggles last week getting completions.
Yeah, absolutely. We kind of, him and I had a talk after the game, and that's I kind of told him we knew going into this game the yardage for him wasn't going to be outstanding. We understood their kind of defense that they had. We knew we were going to have to take short routes, short yardage plays, and just continue to take chunks out of the yard markers, excuse me, so that we could get down there. Unfortunately for us, we put ourselves behind the sticks way too many times last night. We had some issues with communication on the snaps. Obviously, everybody saw all the snap infractions, and we got that all fixed up. I know we had the one after. We just had kind of one blemish later, but that was kind of a big offensive, issue for us last night was just the penalties, and we're going to get those cleaned up. Like I said, we had a talk with Bowman and Bestie, and the communication error that we were having there, and got that fixed, changed things up a little bit for him. But I still thought Tate he did a great job managing last night. He understood that what his role is as the leader of that offense, and he still led those guys out there, and I thought that he still had a pretty darn good night.
Now, a question might feel like a little bit of retread because I know we asked you last night in the post game, but for people at home who may not have heard the post game interview last night, Jason Logic, 25 carries for him. Is that part of the game plan coming in to kind of feed him the ball and see what could happen?
Absolutely. Jace is an extremely tough runner, and we knew, with 5 guys in the box, majority of the time, that he's going to have to be somebody that we lean on, all night long. And so he's a guy who it just seems like he doesn't get tired, and if he does, it's only for 2 plays, and then he's right back in there. But he's a guy who can get that many touches, and he's still running at 100% high level, and that's really fun to see. The people that were watching the game last night, you can see he's going through and he's smacking people. He's not going down on that first hit. That's very rarely ever happening with him. He's going to be driving through, and we understood that last night that he was going to have to be a big part of the game.
I talked to Coach Olson about it earlier. The special teams really setting the defense up for success, pinning Brookings back deep. Well, in turn with that, the special teams then also would set the offense up for success because you guys were starting with the ball at the Brookings 40, 45-yard line, it felt like all night long.
Yeah, Owen back there, returning those punts, that's a big deal, especially, it was a tough one last night, a little bit more inconsistent punting, and so Owen, I thought, did a phenomenal job, and that gave us, as an offense, a really good shot. Very rarely were we back in our own half of the field, and if we were, it was, on our own 40 or something like that, and, that's phenomenal for our defense because they were killing it. They were going lights out, getting 3 and outs as much as they could, and taking every advantage that they could on their offense, and then our special teams just doing the job and putting us in the right position. Unfortunately, we didn't capitalize on as much last night as we really would have liked to. Have a few things to fix this week, but I'm excited to kind of get back at it with the boys.
Josh and I actually had this. We were talking about it on the broadcast and had it written down. The worst starting field position of the day for the offense was after Brookings' lone touchdown. They kicked it out of bounds. So you started at your own 35.
35, yeah.
So if that's
that's acceptable, yes.
You got a T area team next week that, talking to Muth and Olson earlier on, they mentioned maybe a little more aggressive defensively than what you saw from Brookings this week. What are your expectations coming out against them? And another team that likes to run the football and control the clock, so you might not have a lot of time on the field.
Yep, that's what teams really try to keep keep our offense off the field, and they're going to be physical. They got some big dudes. They're going to be physical, and they're going to send a lot of blitzes against us. We know that they like line games. They like sending those linebackers, really trying to bring the pressure off the edge. They really like to bring those outside guys. They're sitting in most likely a 5-2 defense is what they're usually consistently doing. And so they're going to really try to bring that edge pressure. It'll be interesting to see what they do on our receivers, whether they're going to man or go cover 1, cover 3, and it'll be interesting kind of, what they end up throwing at our receivers, whatever they do. We got to have an answer for it. And I just, I know that our boys up front, they took a little bit last night pretty personal. And so I know that they're going to be ready to go to have a monster game this week.
My last question, feels like every time when I have you two in here, is we start talking about college football. Coach Hale, Jackrabbits got the Panthers this week.
It's Hobo Day. I think it's pretty obvious what's going to happen.
Yeah, Northern Iowa, I don't have faith in you and I against FCSU this week. So it sounds like the Jackrabbits are going to stay undefeated.
I would imagine.
Let's just hope the Coyotes come back from Indiana with a win. That's my hope, but I digress there. Thank you both for coming in. Congrats on the win last night, and then good luck next week against T.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
That was offensive coordinator Terry Huber and special teams coordinator Brady Hale here on KYNT and KYN TV. We're back in a couple minutes to keep things going on Huddling with the Herd.
Buying a home isn't just about real estate. It's about investing in yourself. At the Move Group, we believe the best time to buy is when it makes sense for you. Our expert agents put people before transactions, meaning we listen first, provide honest guidance, and help you make a confident decision. No pressure, no gimmicks. Markets change, but the right home is about more than just numbers. It's about finding the right fit for your life and your future. When you're ready, we're here to help. Contact the Move Group today.
Back to school is an exciting time for students. It can also be a very stressful time. This is Dr. Mackenzie Erlinson from First Chiropractic Centers. Heavy backpacks can cause injuries in children, so start the year off right and make sure your child's backpack weighs no more than 5 to 10% of their body weight and doesn't hang more than 4 inches below the waistline. For pain or discomfort resulting from backpack use, call First Chiropractic Centers. Making life better, one adjustment at a time.
Looking for fuel or more? Stop by Triple Time Rudy's, your locally owned convenience store at 17th and Broadway. At Triple Time Rudy's, they're proud to support the community, offering fuel discounts to Yankton's largest employers and backing local activities and events. Inside, you'll discover regional favorites like Dimmick cheese and premium meats from the Kaler and Renner lockers. Whether it's a quick snack, a tank of top quality fuel, or a taste of local goodness, Triple Time Rudy's, fueling your day, fueling the community.
Buying or selling a home is a big decision. Work with someone who knows the ins and outs. I'm Deb Speck with Vision Real Estate, and with 20 years of experience, I will focus on the details while providing marketing knowledge, advice on staging, and negotiating to get your home sold. From start to finish, I'll guide you through the process, making sure nothing is overlooked. Call me, Deb Speck, Vision Real Estate, 605-664-5555.
Welcome back in here on KYNT and KYN-TV. We're still talking Yankton Bucks football here. Varsity win last night, back in the win column, 14-7 victory over the Brookings Bobcats. And, just quick hitter on the varsity level. We got Coach Dan Schwach, Coach Jason Savvy, and Coach Alex Topol all here. I know, Coach Savvy, you work with running back, but Coach Topol and Coach Schwach focusing on the defensive side of the ball a little bit. Really, we'll start with you, Coach Schwach. Defensive line obviously had to play really well to only give up 126 yards of total offense. And outside of one drive for Brookings, it was pretty much no-go in the run game as well.
Absolutely. Game plan all week, stop the run, forced them to do a little more passing, which never got quite in a game flow where we had a comfortable lead built in where they were going to just drop back and pass and we could dial it up a little bit more. But Drace Gaskins, William Guzman Ugowski in the middle sure plugged things up. Austin Conway came in, got some tackles for a loss, which is always big, right? If they don't double team us, we're going to tackle your running back. And Ed, big sack on the outside. And I mean, I know pressures aren't an exact stat, but him and Talon and even Peyton Eustace got in there, forced him to throw a little bit. I mean, 2 of 18 passing is probably a good sign that he didn't have all day to just sit back there and dink and dunk it. So credit to our corners, too, for hanging on to our guys and letting us tackle their quarterback a little bit.
Talk to you, Coach Topol, about the defensive backs now. How is it when they're obviously run-heavy game plan for Brookings? I know the drive that ended the third quarter and started the fourth quarter, I think they only ran the ball. How do you keep your defensive backs disciplined on the play just in case they do pull it for a play action?
Well, a lot of that goes back to, that's old school South Dakota football. You might get 2 or 3 passes a game. And Brookings is a team, they're not a jack of all traits, but they're definitely a master of one. And the big thing is you cannot get lulled to sleep. So when you're able to come up with a game plan and get the defensive backs seeing the entire field, reading guards, tackles, whether it's run, pass, whatever that might be, it triggers those instant responses for them. So they know what they're getting into and they know when to get locked in. So, and even their ability to play downfield was really phenomenal. Like Gavin Johnson, like that hit that he had on Tetzloff right away, that was a tone center. And that right there is, going forward, when their big guy gets taken out like that right away, it sets a trend for the rest of the game that, hey, we're not going to give those easy short passes either. So.
And then, with that as well, we heard it mentioned from Coach Schwach, 2 for 18 in the passing game. There weren't a lot of windows to throw into when Hunemer had to drop back and try to throw the ball.
Yeah, absolutely. And, the thing there, too, is we only had 3 guys that were deep. So, when they took their shots, those guys were one-on-one a lot of the times. And, even though the guys we've had that were filling in for Miles Drotzman, there was that first 9 route that Brookings ran where Drotzman was step for step, probably ran a better route than the receiver did, where I looked over at Coach Beacom in the box. I'm like, yeah, I miss that kid. And it was really nice to have him back. So, having that back gives us a lot more freedom, too, to kind of do some things down low, which, open up a lot for our defense as well.
Kind of took my next question out of the way there. I was going to talk about Miles Drotzman, but getting him back obviously was a big deal for you guys. It's always fun watching him out there. He's got the club on the hand still, so I don't know if that's going to affect his interceptions, but the way he sticks to guys on coverage, quarterbacks don't really go his way anyway.
Yeah, I mean, if you're going to watch tape on us, you should know better not to just try and throw the ball over the top of his head. Even with the one arm, I will say his one-handed catching has gotten a lot better throughout the weeks, too, so I'm just waiting for that 1 week where he does get a one-handed interception. But, until then, I'll just keep hoping for the best.
Coach Savvy, we'll talk about you. Running game was heavy for the offense on the varsity level. I know it's kind of your area for the positional coaches. Jason Lochick, he carried the ball 25 times. I talked to Coach Huber earlier. That was part of the game plan, and he was very even though the yards per carry might not have been there, he was impressed with Jace's ability just to take a hit and keep on going. He just never seemed to get tired.
Yeah, we just couldn't quite get that second level, gap that he could explode through. We kind of got those tough yards, like you said, 4 yards and 4 or 5 here and there. His best runs were on a couple delays that got the defense kind of dropping back pass-wise, and then he was able to get a few more yards there. But tough yards. But Jace did a good job of grinding it out. He did a good job of following his blockers and just waiting for that ability to be able to bounce out, or in, whatever, but just wasn't there. I mean, Brookings, credit to them. And they did a good job of swarming to the ball and kind of limiting, the big play run. But yeah, Jace got the tough yards when we needed to, and positive yards moving the ball forward. So that was good to see.
We'll switch to the sub-varsity level here. The varsity Bucks now 5-2 on the year. T area next week for them. Switching to sub-varsity, junior varsity got a 30-12 win over Norfolk on Monday. Carter Saylor, who's obviously stepped up from the freshman team to play JV, very efficient, 12 for 14, 175 yards. 2 scores through the air, and another touchdown on the ground with 102 yards rushing. I know, obviously, I think Coach Topol made the joke as you guys were walking in, or half the freshman team plays up now to JV, and Carter's one of those guys. How does it feel to have him at quarterback and be able to step in and play very well in place of, I know, Kudera was starting at JV quarterback for a while?
Absolutely. And it was fun to see Jack dressed again last night, but on the varsity sideline. But yeah, Carter Saylor, just next man up mentality. He's kind of a spark out there. He's fun to watch. I mean, he could slide a little bit more on some of his runs, and we kind of got after him for that when he got a taste of a big junior linebacker from Norfolk. But he's like, I don't know how to slide. So we're like, you're a loner to us from the freshman team. We can't bring you back broke. So
get the baseball coaches with him.
Yeah, that's right. So he had has done a great job filling in these last 2 weeks. A couple of victories. We got Malik El Mustafa back at running back this week. He had been out, and he kind of just runs hard. There's no such thing as a second, or I guess road. He's always in road gear, to borrow a term for combining here this time of year. Will Sager, and you see it on Friday. Last night he made a nice punt down inside the 5. He's on a lot of special teams now in varsity, and that's not a coincidence. He's just been kind of lighting it up on the JV field, and if our last game wasn't this Monday, I could see him not being with us after that anyway, with 7 catches, 77 yards, and defensively a couple interceptions, kind of playing that deep roaming safety, just reading. He's getting more confidence every week, and really excited to watch him. And then defensively, Max Eichenberger led in tackles again. Freshman, you'll keep hearing his name in the future. Sager had a lot of tackles. Corbin Saylor came on and had a great game, had a big sack for us, and it was just a fun team win. Over a good Norfolk team, and with a chance to get back to even for the season next week at Watertown.
Yeah, I feel like all three of you in here can talk at length about Max Eichenberger. I swear he's leading both teams in tackles every single week I talk to you guys or up near it. But another 6 tackles for him is what I had, which is great for him. Again, he had 8 in the freshman game by the stats, so we'll talk more about that later on. But what are you expecting against Watertown next week, Coach Schwach? And as you mentioned, last JV game of the season for you guys.
Yeah, freshmen got him this week. We got him earlier in the year on Friday, so they're going to be big, which is good. Norfolk was good practice for that, but Watertown's always big. They're going to play physical football, and I guess we'll just get up there, and it'll be kind of nice to not play on a baseball field this time around up in Watertown. Get to experience that for the first time, so that'll be good.
Yeah, the brand new field up there finally opened. No disrespect to the old Watertown Stadium, historic venue. It's probably nice for the guys not to be tackled on dirt no more. We'll keep it rolling here and switch to the freshman side of things. Coach Schwach, if you have to head out, I understand. But while we're talking freshman football here with Savvy and Topol. But we'll start. Bucks win over Watertown, as was mentioned at the freshman level, 21-12. 7-0 now on the season for the freshman team. That's got to feel good for the next generation of Yankton Bucks to be able to get those big wins under your belt as a young squad.
Yeah, we were talking about how, it's something they haven't quite, they haven't experienced a lot of success like that. They had, I think, 2 wins between 7th and 8th grade. Coach Topol, 2 wins, 1 win. So about 3 wins during their 7th, 8th grade year. So, for them to come in and play as well as they've been playing is a great surprise. But they're just competitors, bottom line. They are just really hard competitors. Coach Schwach and Coach Beacom have seen that at the JV level with the guys they brought up. I mean, those guys just stepped in and they didn't seem real shell-shocked at all to move up to that JV, and they were making plays and helping the JV out. So, I mean, they just love playing, and they're going to get out there, and they're going to bust their butts every time. So it's been a fun group to coach. And they're still, the probably most exciting thing is they're still learning. I mean, there's still a lot to learn. But they just grind it out, which has been, like I said, exciting to see. And it's all different areas, from our running to our passing, our defense, special teams has held their own. So, I mean, it's just been all around very good season.
Just got done talking about Carter with his game at the JV level back on Monday, but then 9 for 12 against Watertown, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns. Did have an interception, so a blemish, but with how he's been playing lately, it's still in a lot of confidence in his coaches at a young age.
Yeah, and he's such a good he's one of the toughest kids on the team by far. And he is such a good decision maker. He makes quick decisions as far as if he sees somebody open, he hits them. I mean, that's you look back on all our games, and his passing efficiency is awesome. Otherwise, he tucks it and runs. I mean, and he's shifty. He's a little guy, but he will get out there, and I mean, you are just kind of in awe sometimes about the tackles. He's breaking tackles, and he's bouncing off guys and getting extra yards, or breaking them for big plays, So, I mean, he's fun to watch. And then, behind him, you got Emmett Hirschman. He's a tough little runner, low to the ground, but he's got that tough mentality as well, where he's going to run, through people or get those extra yards after contact. And then the receivers have been great. I mean, Carter throws the balls up. There's not too many drop balls that are going on. I mean, they're usually bringing them in, and they're just making plays overall. And I'll talk about Watertown last game. The line did a tremendous job of giving Carter time to pass. I mean, he was back there and surveying the field and able to find open guys. So big credit to them too.
Looking at the defensive side of the ball for you guys, well, one more thing before switching off. Adrian Van Osdel and Trigby Lutton, 2 receivers that you mentioned, they don't drop a lot of balls. Both of them had a touchdown catch in that one. But looking at the defensive side of the ball, there's Max Eichenberger again, 8 tackles to lead the team. Landon Bollison had a sack and a fumble recovery. So defense holding Watertown to 12. It feels like there's been a lot of low scores for the other teams this season in freshman ball.
Yeah, the thing that was kind of difficult too is, the week before we played T, who quite frankly is the most talented team we played this year, and we blew them out with 41-8. And, as nice as those wins are, sometimes it kind of sets expectations going forward. And when we came out against Watertown, their first 2 drives, they hit 2 50-plus yard plays for touchdowns. So we're down 12-0 right away. And it's one of those moments where, you get to talk to the players and tell them that, this is where we find out what they're made of. How do you handle getting punched in the mouth here? How do you handle coming back? And they answered the bell when they needed to. So going down 12-0 right away, getting those guys in, getting them involved, it was huge. It's disappointing when you give up 2 touchdowns in a game, which was the first time that happened this year. But the way that they responded after that was great. And you could tell the frustration on Watertown's sideline after they weren't able to quite move the ball as well as they did. And were able to move people around in different positions and see what they could do there. And it was a great learning opportunity for those kids.
Now you come back, you're home next week, you're hosting Sioux City East. It's always nice at the sub-varsity level to see teams that traditionally Yankton's not going to play at the varsity level. Obviously Norfolk, both JV and freshmen have played them. I think the JV played Sioux City East earlier this year. So just some teams from across the border that you guys can play against each other. And it probably cuts down on having to go West River for any of these teams at the sub-varsity level too.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the things about that as well is, this is the first time we played Watertown as a group, so being able to travel that far, travel to Huron Pier, these kids are road warriors. And, going up to Watertown, seeing them for the first time, I tried to explain before the game, Watertown, before Pier got really good this last decade, Watertown was the rivalry with Yankton. So, they're going to come to that game with a lot of energy, a lot of attitude, and they did. And, for them to get a taste of that experience was great. Then we got Sioux City East next week, which, again, the sub-varsity level, we see them there. We played them last year, got a 6-0 win there. But, with that being said, you can't take any opponent lightly. And Sioux City East has had a really good year this year as well. So it should be a fun way to end the season with, us versus the Mighty Raiders of Sioux City East.
If I remember right, at the varsity level, Sioux City East is one of the better teams near the top of their class in Iowa. So, and that's, I believe, the biggest class in Iowa. So
yeah, that sophomore class now, they are extremely talented. The first game I ever coached in 7th graders, I remember their quarterback just 3-step drop, 6-yard pass, and I looked over at the other coach. I'm like, oh God, we're in trouble. And ever since they've been rolling, and their 2 lead receivers are sophomores there. Their starting quarterback is a junior, but they got another really good sophomore there coming up. So if you want to talk Iowa football, there you go.
It's always nice to go out and take on some of these other good programs from the surrounding area. I want to thank all of you for your time this morning. Good luck next week against T area. Congrats on the varsity win last night, and then clean sweep this week for sub-varsity and varsity level. Everybody got big wins.
Absolutely.
Yep. Thanks, Brayden.
Thanks. All right, thank you to Coach Schwak, Coach Savvy, and Coach Topol here for talking on Huddling with the Herd on KYNT and KYN TV. We're back in a couple minutes to keep things rolling here on a Saturday morning.
Is it the competition that keeps bringing you back? The long-standing rivalries? Or is it seeing friends again and cheering on your favorite team? At First Dakota, we're here for it all. We appreciate the fans, the players, the coaches and officials, the concessions crew. The shared community experience is part of what makes life here great, and we're here for it. See you at the game. First Dakota National Bank, member FDIC.
Stay healthy this season with a flu shot from Yankton Medical Clinic. They are hosting flu shot clinics every Tuesday afternoon, 3 to 4:30, now through November 11th, along with Saturday, November 8th from 9 a.m. to noon. Walk-ins are welcome or schedule your appointment online at yanktonmedicalclinic.com. Don't wait. Protect yourself and your loved ones today with a flu shot from Yankton Medical Clinic. So much care, so close to home.
A couple days ago, a teacher came into the UPS store to print some worksheets for her classroom. As we were printing, she asked if we could help her design and print a custom banner for her school's upcoming event. Yes, we can. At the UPS store in Yankton, where for over 8 years we've been serving educators, businesses, and community members with all kinds of printing solutions. Stop by today and let us assist with your next project, and be sure to ask about our shipping services or current print specials.
Save time when you shop online with Hy-Vee. Hy-Vee makes it easy to order groceries online through our app or Hy-Vee.com. Pickup is always free. And if you have a Perks Plus membership, you get free delivery and free express pickup. Shop online with Hy-Vee and you can create and save grocery lists. Shop the sales and get fuel savers. Talk about convenience. Order groceries online today. Check out Hy-Vee.com or download the Hy-Vee app.
Have aches and pains taken you out of your game? Sports injuries can happen quickly, posing threats to your health and ability to participate in your regular athletic activities. I'm Dr. Mackenzie Erlinson from First Chiropractic Centers. Chiropractic care can provide pain relief from sore and aching muscles and lead to faster recovery after workout by easing the inflammation you experience, like stiffness, pain, or restricted movement. Visit with us about managing your sports injuries. First Chiropractic Centers, making life better, one adjustment at a time.
Welcome back in here on Huddling with the Herd. It's time to start talking about some state tournaments for Yankton athletics. We'll start with Yankton Gazelles tennis, as two standouts, Nora and Sabrina Kraske, picked up a Flight 1 double state championship, defeating Sioux Falls Lincoln's team in the finals at the Class AA state tournament that concluded yesterday up in Sioux Falls. Outside of the Kraske sisters' state title at Flight 1, in doubles play, Carolyn Kerner and Megan Scott fell in the fifth-place semifinals at Flight 2, and Sienna Kolka and Elise Collar fell in the consolation finals at Flight 3. In singles play, Nora Kraske led the Gazelles with a second-place finish at Flight 1, followed by her sister Sabrina, who placed fourth at Flight 2. Rounding out the singles play for the Gazelles, Kerner and Scott were the consolation champions at Flight 3 and 4, respectively, while Kolka and Collar were eliminated in the consolation semifinals at Flights 5 and 6. As a team, the Gazelles placed fifth in the tournament with 257 points scored. Rapid City Stevens would claim the team title with 486.5 points. Congratulations to the Gazelles, top 5 finish as a team, and another state championship for Nora and Sabrina Kraske at Flight 1 doubles as they round out their incredible varsity careers with the Gazelles tennis program. Congrats to both of them. I know they were both looking for singles titles as well, but top 4 finishes for both of them in singles titles are impressive as well. Picking up that state championship as a team one more time for the sisters. Also in state tournament play, Bucks Golf played earlier this week in the AA state tournament. Kai Cody led the Bucks with a 9th place finish, tying for 9th at the tournament, helping lead the Bucks to a 6th place finish as a team. Cody finished the 2-day event at 7 over par, shooting a 151. Yankton shot 623 as a team, 7 strokes back of 5th place. Rounding out the Bucks scoring for the tournament, Elijah Larson tied for 23rd, Easton Skelhaas tied for 43rd, Easton Velick tied for 49th, Brayden Berkland tied for 54th, and Gus Sprakel tied for 66th. Congratulations to the Yankton Bucks on a good season at the Class AA level, finishing 6th as a team at the state tournament that was out at Meadowbrook Golf Course in Rapid City. Let's turn our attention now to Yankton Gazelles volleyball. Played a game earlier this week on Thursday against Brandon Valley, and they would fall for the 5th straight time. Number 2 ranked Brandon Valley Lynx in Brandon. The Lynx swept the Gazelles in 3 sets. The first set was all Brandon Valley, 25-5, but the Gazelles battled back and took a couple sets down to the end there against Brandon Valley. 25-18 set 2, and a 25-22 set 3. Almost had to go to extra points to put the Gazelles away, did the Lynx. Tyann Bestie led Yankton with 6 kills and an ace in the loss. Yankton is off until next Thursday when they host Pierre inside the Summit Activities Center. First serve of that one next Thursday is 6:30 p.m. We'll have coverage right here on KYNT, as well as on KYN-TV, beginning at 6. Next up on the docket would be Yankton Competitive Cheer and Dance. They finished 3rd in dance and 8th in cheer at Thursday's Varsity Invitational in Watertown. Yankton's dance team placed 2nd in both Pom and Jazz en route to their 3rd place finish. In the cheer competition, Yankton scored a 236.5 to finish 8th. Next up for the Gazelles is the ESD Conference Meet. It's postseason time of the year for all fall athletics, it feels like. ESD Conference Meet will take place in Brookings on October 16th. So that's coming up next week. I believe that is next Friday. I have a calendar in front of me. I should probably look at it. It's next Thursday. This is why I should look at calendars before I speak, but I digress. Next Thursday, ESD Conference Meet, October 16th in Brookings. And for Yankton Bucks and Gazelles cross country, The ESD conference meet is today at Wild Oak Golf Course in Mitchell. Varsity girls running at 11 a.m. with the varsity boys running at 11:30 a.m. Good luck to both Yankton cross-country squads as they look to bring back some hardware from the ESD conference meet at Wild Oak Golf Course in Mitchell. Last but not least, here on Huddling with the Herd, we got to talk about soccer. We're starting with the Yankton Bucks. Their season ended on Tuesday, a 4-1 loss to the O'Gorman Knights. Nels Hansen scoring the lone goal of the game for Yankton. It was a much improved year 2 under head coach Dane Hansen. Bucks ending the year with an 8-6-1 record. That's after winning just 2 games last season. So much improved team. Do graduate quite a few seniors for the Bucks program, though, so the soccer team going to look a little different at the varsity level for Yankton next year. But Coach Hansen definitely has this team trending in the right direction. 8-6-1, their final record in the 2025 season. A first-round elimination in the state tournament to O'Gorman. As for the Yankton Gazelles, their season's still happening. They defeated Rapid City Central 3-1 in the Class AA playoff opening round on Tuesday. Jocelyn Elwood, Eden Wolfgram, and Aviana Seiler all scored for the Gazelles, with Ayana Becker recording a pair of assists. The Gazelles do travel to Harrisburg today for the Class AA quarterfinals. Kickoff is at 1. Coverage on KYNT and KYN-TV is scheduled to start at 12:30, but considering the travel and setup time, it might be a little after that. We're going to be on the air before 1, though. We will have kickoff. I promise you that. I'll be up there on the call. Josh Bolter coming up there with me to run camera operations at Harrisburg. We're going to take another break here on Huddling with the Herd. When we come back, we'll have your YHS Nation segment here on the broadcast. So don't go anywhere. We're talking oral interpretation when we come back. Big thanks to Scotty Borman for conducting the interview. You'll hear it in a couple minutes here on KYNT, KYN-TV.
It's game on at Yankton Pizza Ranch. Our buffet is loaded with hot pizzas, sweet desserts, and the country's best chicken. Plenty of food and plenty of room for a whole team or your whole family, whether you're celebrating a big win or just hungry for one. Everybody leaves full and happy. So huddle up and make it a buffet day every day from 11 to 8 at Yankton Pizza Ranch.
It's where life tastes better. Surround 'em up and head her down to the Pizza Ranch. Whoa, that's good.
Ever have one of those days? Your car breaks down, your dog decides your couch is a chew toy, and oh yeah, a tree falls on your roof. Don't worry, Missouri River Associates has you covered. Auto, home, pet mishaps, we're here for all of life's little oops moments. Call 665-6885 for your free quote, because life happens, and we're ready for it.
At Vision Care Associates, we're always improving our technology for the health of your eyes. With OptiMap dilation-free exams, you get a comprehensive view of your retina without the need for dilation eye drops. It's quick, easy, and best of all, it keeps your day interruption-free. OptiMap captures a detailed image of your eye, helping to detect any problems. No blurriness, no discomfort, just clear, precise results. Book your OptiMap exam now.
Vision Care Associates, where the health of your eyes comes first.
Credit union people are my people. Dreaming big, keeping life simple. Saving smart, living free. At Explorers Credit Union, you're just like me. We chart new trails, we stand tall. Together we rise, together we call. Credit union people are my people, it's true. And I found my crew at Explorers CU. Federally insured by NCUA. Visit explorerscu.com to join the journey today.
Welcome back in here on KYNT and KYN-TV. This is Huddling with the Herd, and it's time for YHS Nation here on Huddling with the Herd. YHS Nation is your weekly look in at the activities and events going on around Yankton High School. Outside of the athletic sphere, we like to give a shout out and give recognition to all programs, allowing all students to really flex their creativity and find things that they're really interested in at the high school level. This week's YHS Nation, Scotty Borman was able to talk to Jan Mattis of the oral interpretation program about just the program as a whole, some of the kids they got in the program, and then obviously their season that they're in right now as well. Let's go to that interview now here on Huddling with the Herd. It's YHS Nation.
Good morning, YHS Nation. This is Scotty Borman for KYNT, and this morning we're talking with Jan Mathis, who is the Orland Terp coach for Yankton High School. So first off, Jan, how are you doing this morning?
A little tired.
A little tired. I resemble that remark, yes. We get up in age, that happens more frequently. So you get to basically corral all the people that love to argue, right? Orland Terp. No, this is
More of a
not
having-
debate. This is
right,
Orland Terp,
right.
my mistake. So you get to coach the people that are increasing their public speaking a bit, right? Okay, well, why don't you give us a background a little bit about what the whole process, what the goal of Orland Terp is, and then we'll go into what they're doing this season.
Okay, well, we have different categories.
Mhm.
We have duet, we have storytelling, we have humorous, we have dramatic, we have, what's the other one? Poetry. And there are some other categories, like Reader's Theater, that we didn't have an entry for yesterday, but we had the other categories covered. Kids can be in more than one section, so they could be in duo and dramatic, and if they're in a third, they can be in Reader's Theater as a third, which is kind of like a small play that's more people involved. Yes.
I've actually worked backstage a lot with theater, so I know Reader's Theater. It's got a good place, and if you don't have all the time to be able to memorize all the lines, Reader's Theater done right can be very good. So yeah.
And we have a few freshmen this year that we're hoping that, you know, with working with them and this, they take advice from the seniors or the varsity, and just even after yesterday, we have to have a little practice more with the freshmen and get them in here a little bit more often and practice, and the seniors will kind of critique them and go off of what they do, and by watching them, even just by watching them, they learn a lot from yesterday. So yesterday we were at Aberdeen.
Okay, well, why don't you tell us how that competition
Well,
went?
we placed third overall as a team, and there were 11 schools there. We also had Brianna Jordan and Marcel Wells got second overall in the duet, which was really good. We had Memory German in storytelling, and she was in the finals also, and she got fifth overall. And her and Kendra Taylor were in a duet, and they placed fifth overall after being in the finals also. And we had Noah Harrell, who was in the humorous, and he got into the finals, and he placed sixth overall in the humorous. And then Marcel Wells also was in dramatic, and she placed fifth overall after being in the finals. So we had 5 out of 7 in the finals, some in 2 different areas yesterday. So we were pretty excited about that. And then we were pretty excited that we got third overall too. That was fun.
Pretty good showing for the school, right?
For the first time too.
All right. This is the first competition of the season, is that right? Okay. And so what else is on the schedule for this season?
Next Saturday, on the 18th, we go to Brandon Valley.
Okay.
On the 24th, we go to Sioux Falls, Washington. And then we have the 31st, we're somewhere again. I know it's another Friday. We're gone almost every Friday in November. And then we do state the first weekend in December in Watertown. So, and we go up on a Thursday, we come home on a Saturday.
Okay. Now, everybody understands, you know, like you come to like a theater production most of the time, all the lines are memorized. So for Orland Terp, is that more often you gotta practice.
Right.
But do they have the words in front of them?
They
or?
can.
Okay.
They don't have to.
All right.
In fact, our duo of Brianna and Marcel had theirs all memorized. And the more they have it memorized, the better. Then they just have to, they can have their manuscript, but they don't have to rely on it.
Correct. It's sort of like trying to, I would assume, try sort of like giving a speech, a traditional speech. The more you have it memorized, the more fluid, more natural it can be.
And then their eye contact and their facial expressions and their voice and their gestures should all be natural and planned and nothing that looks awkward or anything.
Okay, yeah, they teach that in speech classes a lot too. So they pretty much tie hand in hand pretty well with
And
that.
I have freshmen, and we have speech right now too. So
Excellent.
Freshman English. So
Yeah. Is there anything else you'd like to tell everybody about the Oral Interp team and how they might be able to come and support you guys? Do you guys have any home competitions?
No, we don't. We didn't.
Oh, it's always on the road this year, huh?
Yeah. We didn't get that one organized this year because there was something going on. There was a bunch of things going on at the school at the same time. So when it was kind of sort of maybe planned back last year, there was already things, put there on that date. So we didn't really have a space to put it. So maybe next year.
But anybody that wants to support them,
Right.
put a few miles on the car,
Right.
go up to Brandon Valley, other places, and
Right.
check
And
out
I-
what the kids are doing,
And
right?
I also need judges.
Ooh.
So anytime, I can just put your name on the judge list and you could come with us and help judge because we're required to bring a certain amount of judges. I can judge, but, I usually have to bring more than that. So.
Okay. And how would be the best way for any of our listeners to get on that list of judges?
Email me.
Okay.
And I can get them on the list.
And can you tell us what that email address is?
It's JAN.MATTES @K12.SD.US.
Yep. All right. Cool. I knew that last part was
Yep.
going to be good. All right. Cool. That's been very informative. I think this is going to help people out a lot to help support the Oral Interp team.
I think people would be really surprised when they come and watch how into it some of our kids really get.
Yeah.
They're really, really good at what they do.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we'll get some more Yankton fans out to support the Oral Interp team.
Okay.
All right. Thank you very much, Jess. This is Scotty Borman for KONT.
Big thanks to Scotty Borman for doing that interview with Jan Mattis, talking about the oral interpretation program here at Yankton High School. Get out and support them and everything they do. You heard a list of some of their activities they got coming up. Always, if you want to know exactly when these activities are scheduled for, go to the Yankton High School activities website. They should have an activities schedule there for you to just kind of follow through. And you can even sort that by specific activities. If you're looking specifically for oral interpretation, you can fine-tune it just for that. That's going to do it for this week's edition of YHS Nation here on KYNT. Big thanks to all the coaches who came in today. Thanks to Scotty Borman and Jan Mattis for YHS Nation this week. And, of course, thank you to you, our listener. Without you, this broadcast would not be possible. Huddling with the Herd this week has been brought to you once again by Explorers Credit Union. Discover the difference at explorerscu.com. And a big thank you to Pizza Ranch for not only providing food this morning, but also being the sponsor of our Pizza Ranch phone line. No call-ins today, but always a big thank you to Pizza Ranch in Yankton. We got to get on the road. I got to go cover Yankton Gazelles soccer at Harrisburg. Kickoff at 1 p.m. Pre-game will start as soon as we get everything set up once we get up there. Big thanks to everybody once again. Until next week, stay safe, be good people. This has been Huddling with the Herd on KYNT and KYN-TV.
KYNT, Yankton, FM 1021 and AM 1450, Yankton's home team.
From ABC News, I'm Brian Clark. More than 4,000 federal employees received